Hello and welcome to Patrick's Models and Transport, and welcome to episode 3 of the Fowler B179 footbridge. Okay, so we have assembled in the previous episode, fitted the railings to one of the ramps, and when you fit the railings to this, it's pretty tricky because there are no pegs, so you have to apply Tamiya cement to the steps and also two, just like this, and then just lean the railings on, then apply some Tamiya cement along the side to make everything melt, make the plastics melt together, and then you have to be generous with the Tamiya cement. And now we're going to assemble the other ramp. I'm putting this one away. Of course, I'll show you the instructions now. Here's the instructions. The instructions show us, there they are, they indicate various railings, like this one for example, and then you have to cut a piece off for the landing. So for instance, let's have a look. Here, this is lower part, okay, it goes down to there. It won't lean, it won't stay. On the other side, this one, which I have already cut, will go here. This part, which was at the end, I have already cut it off because the actual bridge arrives like this, okay? So we'll understand better as I go along. I've already pre-cut everything, filed the flashing and everything. Anyway, very good quality mouldings. We're talking about Fowler. It's good stuff. Okay, it's not like the Coopercraft Bedford ML. I wouldn't like to build a footbridge by Coopercraft. I'm sorry to say so, but I think it would be a nightmare. We could call it a Picasso footbridge. It would be at all angles. Okay. Very well. Right, let's get going. So we'll begin. You can either begin at the top or begin at the bottom. When I made this one, I began at the top, because at the top we have to have the tolerance of the bridge. So we'll begin at the top. Okay. So righto, let's begin at the top, and let's begin from one of the top ones, which is this one. We know it's a top part because you can see that there's the continuation of the banister here, like this. Seems to have not very well finished this. Okay, that doesn't matter anyway, then we glue it all together. Okay, right, I'm nearly at the end of this Tamiya cement. We might finish it very soon. So of course you can extend the brush is extended to maximum. Thanks again, Ian Bugler75, for giving me this tip I didn't know. But we're going to use, considering it's so little, I'll use my little Tamiya cement bucket, my thimble. So I'm just going to put my Tamiya cement in here. We'll be using the new bottle soon. Okay, perfect. Right, I've been generous because we need generous quantities. Poof, a whiff of glue. Glue. Okie doke. Right, let's get going. Try and keep this thing here short and sweet. I've got my enlarging specs on top of my reading specs because otherwise I can't see. We've got the light well pointed. My shatty cat is not annoying me too badly because I've had some fun this week. So we'll try and keep it as fast as go as fast as possible. Right, on we go. Action stations. Okay, so number one, a good wet that like that. Then the best thing to do is to see exactly where our railings are, because this part here has to actually lean on top of there. So we're at the first step, like so. I'm looking at the other one for reference. Indeed, it's the very first step. Okay, so let's do it like this. First things first, we apply Tamiya cement to the, let's say, call them the railing legs, could it be? Then we'll see where these go, so the respective steps. And here we need to apply some here as well. And a good lashing right there like that. We don't need to worry about the plastic because then we'll be anyway apply weathering. Now I'm just going to put this here like this. It's a tricky business, really. It's not one of the easiest things to do, because it doesn't stay still. It doesn't sit. It just doesn't do. It's very, very tricky. Of course, the footbridge comes over this way, like that, so I have to apply one of the cut parts over here like this and decide which one to do. So lower deck comes down like that. Okay. Already positioning my railings where they have to go. Jolly good, that's good. Okay. So let's apply some more cement. Really plenty to melt, bond the plastic together. That's quite good. Working with Tamiya cement, and then I also apply some like that to melt it onto each step. Okay. This top part here seems to be good. Letting it go in by capillary effects. That's quite good. That's quite good. That good, 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 good. Perfect. Perfect. Right. Now we'll do the other side. Like that. So same process. So I'd started recording this video and then I ended up mentioning AI and I was in a ranting mood. But I'm going to make a video about AI, a spoken video. I've been watching videos and honestly I'm seeing that AI is useful, but it's being improperly used to the detriment of talent, of professions, of creativity. And but I'm not going to speak about it now because this is a relaxing video. But I'll make a dedicated video talking about it. So here we go. Is that correct? Is that okay? Before I add more cement, I'm checking that the bridge has space to fit in, because the master in this case is the bridge. The Master, that's a good film. Master and Commander with Russell Crowe, that's a great film. Watch that, that's good. Great musical score as well. Master and Commander. That's a great film. Not very pleased about this. We're a bit on the touch and go department. So now that we've seen that the bridge is master, I'm using a rather politically incorrect term, because apparently the term master is frowned upon nowadays in PC world, in the Newspeak that they are imposing on us. Newspeak. I mean, George Orwell wrote 1984 to denounce totalitarianism, to the abuse of society on the individual. I've read 1984 various times, and I've also seen the excellent film with John Hurt as Winston Smith. And in 1984, I'm quoting a thing I saw on Facebook that I agree with, was denouncing. It wasn't a set of instructions, because we're really reaching the point of ignorance is strength. And ignorance it'll be. I'm thinking of the younger generations, people who are growing up, who will be dependent on prompts by the AI prompts. I'm not even quoting, well, we all know the name of one of the main softwares, freewares that are available. Ignorance is strength. I mean, I'm okay speaking as a person who was educated. I received my basic education in the analog days, in the pre-digital era. And I'm thankful for that. I'm very, very, very thankful. I mean, computers are useful, they're great things. Internet is fantastic, it's wonderful. I'm the first person to say so. But see here, I made a mistake. I put too much glue here, I was carried away. But anyway, we're going to weather this, so it's not really a problem. We'll give it a light weathering here, just to get rid of cut down some of the plastickiness. And okay, that's quite good. for luck. Okay. Let's add a spot here. There. Okay. So that's good. Now, we have to fit this part here, and then we'll let's complete the top part like that. Not even using tweezers, I'm just using my fingers. Not very convinced about this join up here now. Let's see how the bridge joins up. I think we need to move over a wee bit. Slide that over a bit. Slide it over. Are you going? Anyway, anything that we don't really like, we can fix up with some. Let's join these two parts here together. We're cementing the railings together well. And a wee bit extra there just for safety's sake. And a wee bit extra here as well. Right, that's that done. Now we'll go down and do the. Let's do a simple. Let's do something easy now. We'll do this bit. Easy is. Let's go like this. Okay. So I'm applying some cement there. Let's wet the railings. I mean, to give the language a social and political meaning in everyday words is nonsense. It's nonsense. In Italian, there's an obsession nowadays. We have masculine and feminine in nouns. Like casa is feminine. I don't know. Cucchiaio, spoon, is masculine. Of course, there are nouns that indicate professions. which are, okay, in Italian, in plural, masculine, the grammar is predominant. So you say, welcome, hello everybody, or good evening everybody, buonasera a tutti, no? Nowadays people say buonasera a tutte e a tutti, meaning that it makes no sense. But in professions like which are, the term is masculine, but it doesn't mean it's associated to men. So you see some ridiculous changes in grammar which make no sense. But language is a political tool. This is a known fact. In fact, in George Orwell's 1984, the idea is that Newspeak will eventually replace Old Speak, because Newspeak is politically correct, and there will be no risk of thought crime if you speak Newspeak. So here we go again, and there's thought crime as well. Thought crime, Newspeak, is George Orwell. It's 1984. There's a very interesting channel called 1984 Lore, all about 1984. And I would definitely suggest watching it, because what's going on is sinister. And totalitarian regimes, I mean, I know, my wife is Romanian. She grew up in communist Romania under Ceausescu. So she knows very well what a totalitarian regime is. Even Christake, 74. Also, and totalitarianism can pop out in any way. Thought crime. The rule of machines. Artificial intelligence is a robot. Science fiction is reality. And as usual, people are not thinking about it, which really surprises me. People are taken by the excitement of, like, a new toy, without thinking of the consequences that said new toy can have. There. Okay, that's that done. Let's melt this together as well. So anyway, what do you say about this idea of speaking about? I mean, I won't make a very long video about AI. I mean, mainly I'm going to talk about my concerns about the future, for future generations, and creativity and design and things, and knowing how to do things. Okay, that's quite nice. Right, now we have to fit the last bit. When I do these jobs, usually either I'm listening to music and my brain is sort of ticking away, or in this case here I'm chatting to you, but I've always found that modelling is something that stimulates your thought. It's a relaxing moment, and you can concentrate your thoughts and also elaborate them by doing something which disconnects you from your everyday routine. Now let's see if this one's going to go in here like this. Let's see. Excuse me. Excuse the fingers. Catching that like that. And just sort of, just a spot there. We'll twist this one here in a wee bit. Get in here. There you go. Now, before I glue that in permanent, I have to see how to fit this in. How to fit this here on. I'm going to push this on down a wee bit, and we'll put this one on. I've often mentioned in videos talking about railways, of talking about history, and my view on things is that I definitely believe that history repeats itself, because humans work in a certain way. And I'm not really very sentimental on the topic, because I know that there's just some things that can't be changed. You can correct, but you can't change. I'm not even a pessimist, but it's practically, I acknowledge that it's like this. Okay, right, that's good. Let's get this one here done now. Oh, a bit tricky now. We're going to go by capillary effect here, big time. Okay, that's that done. Now we're anchoring the railings on properly. Something in my hand there, maybe. Okay. One. That's good. Okay. Now we're going to go here. Wet this. It's a bit touch and go. This is good. Let's cement these two here together. That way they'll stop moving around. There. It's moving all over the place. I mean, I also, regarding those mentioning languages before, I know that languages change. I mean, it's normal that language changes in time. It's not something that's carved in stone, that nothing is carved in stone. But sooner or later, that piece of stone will be repurposed. Like that. I can take you to see some places in Padova, now that in summer the days are longer, and you'll see that the stones from Roman buildings were recycled to make medieval fortifications and columns and things, and so everything is recycled. But okay, so that's quite good. This part here I'm not too not too happy about this. So I'm going to, my fingers are sticking to it. Okay, I think that's quite good. There we go. That's that finished. It took half an hour. And there's a bit of fiberglass here I've got in my hand now. I'm punished for committing thought crime. Oh, jeez, oh, thought crime. Let's melt that. Let's join this up a bit as well. Being able to think and have your own thoughts is the biggest form of freedom. And I've mentioned many times that I'm a half Italian citizen, and we used to have compulsory military service, and I did military service, and I remember that the first week when you were a recruit, it was hell. It was very, very tough. And I remember that even when it was very, very strong moments, and having the freedom to think in my brain I felt free. It was something like that gave you strength to do what you had to do and put up with the situation. So that is why I say that thinking is the most important thing. It's fundamental to have the freedom of thought in your own head. Of course, it's also good to have freedom of speech and all sorts of other things, but your personal thoughts, and to thoughts that are free, not thoughts that are conditioned. You don't need to have to be able to think, to look up a machine, to ask a prompt. I find that completely ridiculous and absurd, because you have to be able to think, and thinking is being free. And if we look through history, all the possible dictatorships and totalitarian regimes and terrible things that have happened to humanity all over the place, they've always wanted to control thought. People have to think in a certain way. There is ideology. Ideology, in the way I see things, ideology is like frozen food. You take your frozen pizza, you put it in the oven, and you cook it according to the instructions. Instead, thought is to make your dough, make your own pizza, and put what you want on top of it. If you want to put a gallon of olive oil on it, you're free to do so. So this is, or we would say pasta. Pizza, frozen pizza might even be okay, but frozen pasta or pre-cooked pasta, no. I'm an Italian. Pasta has to be cooked properly. Okay, or get a jar of bolognese sauce. You open a jar, boom. No, make your own. Okay, very well. So on this culinary note, I hope you enjoyed the video, and you don't find anyway. I've been thinking about this artificial intelligence business for some time, and I want to anyway make a dedicated video. And there's a very interesting one on the channel, Dawn Quest. She's a very interesting model railway enthusiast, a very good channel. I like to follow her, and she was interviewing a guy that makes models, that designs buildings and things, and they were talking. It was very, very, very interesting. When I make the video about AI, I'll actually link that video in the description box. So I'd say that we've got this. Oh, let's do a final check and see what happens now. Double specs to see what I'm doing. Yes, very good. Perfect. I'd say it's a perfect fit. So I'll link Don Quest's video in the description box when I make the AI video. Not this one here, it's not the moment. These are just my, as we say in Italian, pensieri in libertà. So, thoughts in free will, no? Or pensieri a ruota libera, that would be thoughts. Freewheeling thoughts. Right, let's put the glue back into the bottle. And, oh, a drop went on the mat, doesn't matter. Okay, so that's that for the moment. Cheerio, and see you next time. And if you like the video, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell, and of course, I'd like to hear your comments, both on the model and even on what I've been talking about in this video, because I'm very, very curious. I'm trying to gather information, and today I was doing a lesson speaking. One of my students were talking about this. I was talking with another student the other day, yesterday, who works in industrial design, where AI is causing some issues. Honestly, it's worrying. It's very worrying, but worrying more. I'm thinking more of the long-term damage than to the short-term present-day damage. So that is what I'm thinking about, and it's really serious. I mean, I don't usually I like to keep it light when I'm making models and things, but this is something that's going in the very, very wrong direction, and it's not controlled, and it's a bit like when Italy adopted the euro. They didn't check, and prices shot to the sky, and we're still paying the consequences nowadays. Okay, very well. So I'd like to hear read your comments. Let me know what you think about this as well. So cheerio, and see you next time. Good night.